Maggie Q, Samuel L. Jackson, and Michael Keaton all playing different assassins. That sounds like a pretty good setup to me. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch or Pass, and I just got back from a screen of The Protege, which is a new film coming to theaters on August 20th, 2021. It stars Maggie Q, Samuel L. Jackson, and Michael Keaton, and it's put out by Lionsgate. The setup doesn't sound, I mean, it sounds like a good potential setup, but I was a little hesitant going in. But let me tell you, it surprised me. It exceeded all my expectations, and they were pretty low, but it exceeded them it exceeded them in a very positive way. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the film, three things I liked, three things I didn't like, and then talk about the ending. So if you don't want to know about the film, it's actually pretty good. So I would, maybe don't find out about the ending. Like, go watch the film and then come back and see what I thought about it. I think this might be one where you just enjoy it. But if you don't care about knowing about the story, if you want to know about the ending or hear more thoughts, then we can keep going. But you've been warned. So in The Protege, Maggie Q is Anna, and she was raised by Samuel L. Jackson, who plays Moody. So Moody's an assassin, and he found Maggie or Anna on one of his missions, and she was clearly skilled with a weapon. She was a kid, and so he kind of takes her in and raises her because she has no one else to go to. And eventually they form like an assassin team where Maggie Q is like she kind of infiltrates and kind of does some of the work to kind of have the targets feel let down their guard, because she's an attractive Asian lady, and she doesn't look like she could do much damage, but she can because she's an assassin. So, and then Samuel L. Jackson will be part of the planning, and he also kind of does Overwatch and at least the hits that we saw. And they make a really good team, and they have a good chemistry together, and I'll talk a little about that and the things I liked. But eventually they inquire about a target that gets them on the radar of someone very bad, who attacks Samuel Jackson and causes the Maggie Q to kind of to figure out what happened to get her revenge. So, things I liked about the movie: the characters. The film has some really fun characters, and I think it's partly because they just kind of play the right, they play the roles that they are meant to play, if that makes sense. So Samuel Jackson plays a Samuel Jackson character. Like, it's weird to say, but it's like every Samuel Jackson character you've seen, and you love it because he's this kind of smart mouth, sarcastic, confident person, who is also just a very good assassin. But he has the kind of Samuel Jackson humor where he'll say what's on his mind. He'll say, he'll rib people and things like that, and he's a lot of fun. And then Maggie Q plays a very reserved kind of assassin character, but she's also supremely confident, and she's funny too. She has some very funny moments as well, but it's a more reserved humor, and she does a good job of being like the somewhat emotionless character who is super observant and is able to kind of navigate in this underworld, despite the fact that she is apparently the only female in this film. And then you have Michael Keaton, who plays a very Michael Keaton character. He's also pretty confident, but has that like Michael Keaton sarcasm, and also he has a little bit of humor as well, where he's criticizing some of the other players in the game, but and also doing things in a more dignified manner. So the characters themselves, they're all really fun to see together, and they're all really fun interacting, and it ends up Maggie Q and Michael Keaton kind of play cat and mouse with each other. And it's interesting because their characters blend really well, except they're on the opposite sides. And so some of the conflict and humor and fun is them interacting where they know that they're kind of about to kill each other, but they're not able to. It's kind of like a Mr. And Mrs. Smith type role, where they're both very skilled and trying to play it cool, but then also know that they could attack each other at any time. The second thing I really loved about this film is the understated action. As you expect from like an assassin film, they are very skilled and minimalist in the things that they do. There's not like a ton of huge action sequences. There's a lot of very efficient deaths. Now, some of the fights are a little pretty long, but they're not as over the top as they might have been in a different action film. I feel like the movie does a good job of kind of keeping the action toned down as you would expect for an assassin type film, but doing it in a very good way. Like I really enjoyed the action sequences. There weren't a ton of them, but they were fun to watch. And I especially seen Maggie Q and Michael Keaton fight uh, in their super skilled assassin way was a lot of fun. The last thing I loved is the humor. Like the film is a very funny film. Like it's an action movie, but it's got kind of this sarcastic humor to it that makes a lot of the scenes really fun to watch. And there's, especially between Maggie Q and Michael Keaton, there's some pretty funny instances between the two where they're kind of comparing notes. Like there's one where they're comparing guns, and there's one where they kind of start fighting, but they accidentally turn on some music, and so like Let's Get It On starts playing. And their fight is very physical, but it also has like a double entendre to it, because as they're like slamming each other down, you kind of know where it's going to go. And eventually they, she's like, she essentially says like, do me or kill me, just make up your mind. Oh, Michael Keaton says, do me or kill me, just make up your mind. So things I didn't like. This is a strange one, but Maggie Q playing such a strong character, I wanted like another female character in the assassin game to her to interact with, or at least to have someone there, because it's pretty much Maggie Q, and then I think there's like two other female characters in the entire film. There's like a maid slash housekeeper person, and then there's Maggie Q's female friend, and that's it. Like everyone else in this world are all male. All the other characters are male. I guess I just wanted like another female assassin just to kind of round it out. Even if she was just like a security person, it felt like every other character in this film was male, which was odd because a film that has a strong female lead, you think they make an effort to add like another female character uh, that's not just like her friend or the housekeeper. I mean, I guess maybe they wanted to show like she's strong and she's doing her thing in a man's world, but again, it felt like they could have added another couple characters, even if they were just like assassins that she took out. Like even if they didn't, it's just another character that was capable and female, because it felt like everyone else was male in this film. And then I noticed it. It looked off. It looked odd. It looked like they were trying to only have males. The second thing I didn't love is that there seems like there was a lot of unnecessary mystery at the start. Now the film tries to keep, the character's past mysterious and give you a little bit of information here and there. But I felt like they didn't need to obfuscate as much as they did. There were some things that they kept from the audience that just felt kind of silly to keep. And the revelations later were fine, but I feel like you could have learned more, and they could have given you a better appreciation of the characters earlier, and then set some of the bigger revelations till the end. But it's fine. That was a minor point. And the last thing I didn't love is just the ending, but only the specific ending itself. And let's go into the ending. So Anna gets kidnapped and tortured by a character named Duquette. And eventually he tries to kill her, but she, because she's a very capable person, ends up killing all three of the guards that try to take her out. Eventually, she finds Duquette and kills him. And essentially the same way that he was planning on killing her, she kills him. So it was a nice little poetic justice there. But Rembrandt comes to check on them, and him and Anna get into a fight, which this is the scene where it's kind of like they're fighting, but then it turns into kind of like a double entendre, because they're slamming each other on the ground, and then Let's Get It On starts playing, and Michael Keaton eventually says like, do me or kill me, just make up your mind. And so she ends up doing him, or they end up having sex. And so it was funny because I think the film projected this as it was happening. So you kind of like thought, okay, like this is a little bit more physical than I think I was expecting their fight to be. And then it kind of leads right into what you expect it to be. So then as Anna's leaving, she gets shot by one of the other bodyguards, assassins, henchmen in the side, but someone shoots that person before he can finish her off. And you find out that Samuel Jackson is actually alive. Before before it looked like he had been killed in his house, but you find out that Samuel Jackson actually faked that part, and he's alive, and he's going to help Anna take down their ultimate target, who is this person named Vol. And it turns out that Vol is having some sort of like big party at his mansion, resort, estate, or something like that. They decide to infiltrate the party. So it switches to the party, and the security's top notch. Michael Rembrandt is there trying to watch the party, trying to figure out who's there, and there's a lot of security in the party itself. But Anna dresses up as a like server person and cuts her hair real short and is able to infiltrate the party. So Michael Keaton is watching, and Maggie Q is kind of moving around, and there's a lot of really good tension right there where you expect Michael Keaton to see Maggie Q. He kind of does, he kind of recognizes it, and he starts going towards her, and she pulls out a gun to shoot Vol, and he like runs like bodyguard style. He doesn't jump in front of the gun, but he jumps and pulls her gun down. But she manages to shoot. She doesn't hit Vol, but she shoots, which causes a panic, and everyone starts to run. And Maggie Q also gets up and starts to quickly walk out. Like, she kind of tries to use the crowd to her advantage. And Michael Keaton pursues her. But in the interim, Vol gets taken out of the banquet and to a bunker where it's like his doomsday bunker where he can go and be perfectly protected. So while he's in there, he's watching all the screens, and he sees Maggie Q and Michael Keaton. He sees their pursuit. Eventually, Rembrandt pursues Anna into this like greenhouse type thing with a bunch of ferns. And so he's watching this on the screen, and then bam, the screen gets shot. And you're like, wait, what's going on? And because it's timed well with Michael Keaton looking like he's about to shoot Anna. And so this Vol's screen gets shot. He turns around. Samuel Jackson's in his bunker. How you do it? He had a drone watch the bunker and get the code. And so Samuel Jackson kind of explains to Vol, like, essentially, like, he tells him like he messed up, because what got Moody on Vol's radar was Moody was checking in on the son of a target he'd killed before, who it turns out was Vol. Like, Vol was the target. He faked his own death in order to kind of go underground and make a new life. And Moody was checking on the son that he orphaned because he took out Vol, and because he wanted to kind of make amends and apologize and check on him to make sure he was doing all right. But this got Moody on Vol's radar, and Vol wanted to tie up all loose ends, and so he went and tried to kill Moody, which then angered Moody, angered Anna, and that's why we're in this situation. So essentially, he said, "Look, I was like," Moody was like, "Look, I was just trying to check on your kid, and you messed up when you tried to kill me." So Moody then, in Samuel Jackson over the top style, takes a bomb, puts it down in front of Vol, and then we switch back to Anna and Rembrandt. And Rembrandt looks like he's about to shoot Anna, but he says essentially, like, you could have killed Vol. Why didn't you? Why didn't you take the shot? And she said, well, that wasn't the plan. Good timing, because boom, an explosion rocks everything. It kind of pushes everyone around. Like, Rembrandt falls, Anna falls, the bunker is gone, and Anna is able to sneak out. So Anna is able to Anna gets back to a safe house. This actually is like where Moody found her. It was like a warehouse type thing. Anyway, it has sentimental value, but this is where Moody found her. Rembrandt tracks her down to there, and they have like a standoff. Like, she's at a table with a gun, kind of drinking, and he enters the room with his gun, and they kind of have a standoff. And he says, why don't we just walk away? Like, we don't have to do this. You can make a different choice. And she essentially says, like, I'm tired. Like, I want to be done with this. And essentially, if I walk away, I'm always going to be looking over my back because you'll be there. And so they have the standoff. The camera pulls away. You hear gunshots, and then you see up in the window like a large figure kind of stumbling around, and then it scrolls down to the door, the exit, and Anna is leaving the warehouse. So I guess the implication is that she ended up shooting Moody or something like that, and so she's now leaving. And then boom, credits. I guess she survived. Yay. But again, this ending was a little bit of a letdown because the entire film they had kind of set up that Moody, or no, that Rembrandt. If I said Moody before, it was Rembrandt in this whole scene. Moody's dead. Moody died in the bunker with Vol. But so they set up this whole during this whole time, they set up that Rembrandt kind of had this, he had like a better code than the other assassins. Like he had some honor, he liked to do things orderly, and he also, I think he kind of defies Vol when it suits his purpose and it's not going to like get Vol killed. Vol's his ultimate kind of boss. And so they kind of set him up as someone who kind of bends the rules and has a conscience and has this kind of like honorable aspect. And also he and Anna are very compatible. Like that's what you find out in this film, is that they're both assassins. They're in this world where they, you know, the only people that they can really open up to are other assassins. And so it sets all this up as them being kind of the perfect pair. And then in the end, it like makes them kill each other. I feel like a better instance would have been, I guess maybe I'm just a happy ending kind of person. Like I feel like they could have either become a team or, you know, at least had a relationship and just kind of not talked about their work. I feel like a better instance would have been them, you know, becoming a couple and then fast forward to some new assassination where Anna and Rembrandt are there. I mean, that's just kind of how I think a better ending would have been. It would have been a little bit more, I guess, Hollywood. But the way the ending worked out, it felt strange because, like, I don't know, Anna had gotten the target. I guess maybe she had like the weight of some of her assassinations, but she didn't show any of that before. Like she was a pretty good assassin. Like she was pretty happy with killing bad guys, it seemed. And also she was, you know, happy in the life that her and Moody had as a team. So I feel like Rembrandt and her could have been a team. She could have maybe had a more full life because she would have had, you know, I guess a lover who understood rather than a father figure who understood. And she could have gone back to her life. I mean, there was nothing that was stopping her because I guess the only loose end was Rembrandt. But I guess maybe she could have, maybe she just never felt like she could trust him. I don't know. The ending was a little bit of a letdown. I felt like they could have redone it and made it into a little bit more of a Hollywood happy ending. But that's just me, you know. You all go ahead and see it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you thought you actually liked the ending. But overall, the Protege was a surprise. Like I didn't expect it to be good. I thought it was going to be almost like a direct to DVD type film that just was just like a last payday for these actors. But I really liked it. Like I liked the characters, I liked the action, I liked the story. It was just a really fun overall film. And so I think, you know, if you're going to see this in theaters, it's a good movie to see in theaters. It's a good movie to see at home. It's a pretty good movie. So that's The Protege. It's coming out to theaters on August 20th, 2021 from Lionsgate. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot and make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.